Welcome to today's real estate exam prep session. In this video, we'll explore essential concepts, forms of ownership and freehold estates, including fee simple estates and more. These concepts are foundational for your real estate exam and real-world property transactions. Let's get started. First, let's dive into forms of ownership. Ownership of real estate can take different forms, depending on how multiple people share rights to the property. Let's look at the most common types of ownership. In sole ownership, one individual owns the entire property and holds all rights to it. For example, Sarah buys a condo by herself. She has complete control over the property. She can sell it, rent it, or pass it down as she wishes. In joint tenancy, two or more people share ownership equally, with a special feature, the right of survivorship. If one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the remaining owners. For example, Alex and Jordan buy a house as joint tenants. If Alex passes away, Jordan automatically inherits Alex's share of the property. PIT is an acronym for the four unities of joint tenancy: possession, interest, time, and title. PIT is used to remember the requirements that must be met to create a joint tenancy. Joint tenancy is a type of concurrent ownership where two or more people own a property together. Possession. All joint tenants must have the right to use and possess the entire property. Interest. All joint tenants must have the same type and duration of interest in the property. Time. All joint tenants must acquire their interest in the property at the same time. Title. All joint tenants must receive their interest through the same legal document, such as a deed or will. If any of the four unities are not met, the ownership reverts to a tenancy in common. In tenancy in common, multiple owners share the property, but each has a distinct, divisible share. Unlike joint tenancy, there's no right of survivorship, so when an owner dies, their share is passed to their heirs. For example, Tina and Mark buy a duplex as tenants in common. Tina's share passes to her son when she dies. In some states, married couples own property as community property, meaning each spouse has equal rights to the property, regardless of who purchased it. For example, Laura and Steve buy a house together in a community property state. If they divorce, they will split the property equally. Next, let's move on to freehold estates. A freehold estate gives the owner rights to a property for an indefinite period of time, and there are three major types of freehold estates. This is the highest form of ownership in real estate. The owner has full control over the property and can use, sell, lease, or transfer it as they wish. For example, John buys a house with fee simple absolute ownership. He has no restrictions on how he can use or transfer the property. Now let's talk about fee simple defeasible. This is a type of ownership that comes with conditions. The ownership can be terminated if a specific condition or limitation is violated. There are two main types of fee simple defeasible estates: fee simple determinable and fee simple subject to condition subsequent. In a fee simple determinable estate, ownership automatically ends if the condition is violated, and the property reverts back to the original owner or a third party. For example, Mr. Smith donates land to a school with the condition that it must be used for educational purposes only. If the school starts using it for something else, like commercial use, the ownership automatically reverts to Mr. Smith or his heirs. In a fee simple subject to condition subsequent, the ownership can still be terminated if a condition is violated, but it's not automatic. The original owner has the right to take legal action to reclaim the property. For example, Mr. Smith sells land to a church with the condition that it can never be used for commercial purposes. If the church decides to build a retail store on the property, Mr. Smith can take legal action to reclaim the land. Studying ownership in real estate is crucial for agents to fully understand the legal implications and provide the best guidance to their clients. Keep studying and stay tuned for more videos on ownership. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.